Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, be sure and like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. I planned on doing a 10,000 mile owner review on my 2024 Street Glide. Instead, I'm going to be talking about how many times my 2024 Street Glide has been in the shop for warranty work. So I am at the 10,000 mile mark, and I did that in 10 months. So I ride on average about 1,000 miles a month. And so my bike has been in the shop numerous times for warranty work. And I'm curious, if you have a 24 Road Glide, Street Glide, or 25 for that matter, has yours had to go back in for warranty work? And what kind of issues have you had? I know they first came out with the new Street Glide and Road Glide design in 2023 with the CVOs. And then those features trickled down to the base model Street Glide and Road Glide. And they always say, don't buy a bike the first year they do a major redesign, because they always have bugs they've got to get out of the system. But I got the fever. I like the redesign. I purchased the 2024 Street Glide, and it has been in the shop, excuse me, in the last 10 months, 10,000 miles, it has been in the shop 4 times. It is currently in the shop today. 3 times it went in the shop for warranty work the first 3 months of ownership. But at least all 3 of those issues were kind of related. The first thing that happened, I'm trying to remember, a month or 2 of ownership, the radio stopped working. Now I could change the station, I could look at the big screen and see what station it was on, I could raise the volume up and down, I could see it go up and down on the screen, but no sound. Took it to the dealership. They did an update. Radio works fine. Oh, a month down the road, the radio quits again. Take it back. This time they said, excuse me, got a lot of pollen. Springtime, I've got that tickle in my throat. And you know I'd cough when I start filming. So I took it back the second time. They said it was an amplifier issue, did another update. The radio was working. I don't think it was maybe 2 weeks after that, maybe 2.5 months of ownership, getting close to 3 months of ownership, the navigation stopped working, because I paid the $350 for the Harley Davidson built-in navigation. Took it back to the dealership. This time they kept it for almost a week. The corporate rep was in and out several times that week. They could not get my navigation to work. So Harley just authorized the replacement of the whole head unit. So I got a whole brand new Skyline operating system, the whole infotainment system. So I've had great customer service in that regard. I mean, they stayed on top of it and haven't had any more trouble with the infotainment system. But here I am at 10 months, 10,000 miles, just before I take it into service. This little upside down triangle came up, an indicator. Reminds me of a yield sign, but it's yellow with an exclamation point in the center of it. And so I took it to the dealership. They couldn't find anything wrong. They cleared the code, and then before I left the dealership, the little indicator came back up. They put it back, had me bring it back. They decided it was a cam position sensor, I believe is what they said it was, and they ordered a part. Well, they told me, you know, safe to go ahead and take it home, and I did. Well, the next day, I'm out riding it with the Harley Owners Group, and you know, we're highway speed, and all of a sudden it bogged down, wouldn't go over 2,000 RPMs. The throttle was like stuck. Wouldn't go less than 2,000 RPMs or more. Now I was able to, you know, stop, get it in first gear, ease out on the clutch, and as it built up a little RPMs, I could shift gears, so run maybe 30, 40 miles an hour for maybe 20 miles to get back to the house. Trailered it over there, but then when I got ready to trailer it to the dealership, I knew I could limp it up on the trailer, but I crank it up, running fine. But now this time, not only was the triangle indicator on the dash, but the check engine light was on the dash. Called them, told them what was going on. They said, well, you know, bring it back. So I trailered it back, even though it seemed to be running fine. I didn't want to take a chance. And they say, well, hopefully it's still just that one sensor, supposed to be in mid part of the week, and they would get it on. I didn't think to ask them if they were going to put it back, hook it back to their computer now that I have 2 indicator lights. But so that makes issue number 4. So I've had radio, navigation, and then a bad sensor. And I was able to get it home in every one of these cases. I wasn't stranded on the side of the road, but this last time I wouldn't want to be a long way from home with it acting like that. So it's frustrating. I know anything mechanical, anything created by human beings can fail. And that's true with all brands. Now, my last motorcycle, I had an Indian. I rode it for 4.5 years, put 63,000 miles on it. And in 63,000 miles, I only had 2 real issues. One, first few months of ownership, I'm boogieing down the freeway in Texas and my saddlebag fell off. It had that quick release docking hardware, and it just, the docking hardware failed, or I didn't have the plungers in all the way. That saddlebag just fell off and was scratched unmercifully. I know the following year, they started bolting on the hard saddlebags on the Roadmaster. So I had that issue. May or may not have been an owner error. We'll never know. And then at 60-something thousand miles, one day I'm at the local Harley dealership of all places, and my Indian wouldn't crank. I thought, okay, it's the battery. I went and the Harley dealership, bought a battery, put it on there, cranked right up. Okay, it was the battery. And then I hung around with my buddy for a few more minutes, then we got ready to leave, wouldn't crank again. My buddy took me home, got my truck and trailer, went back, trailered my Indian to the Indian dealership, and ended up being a loose connection at the starter. Very inexpensive repair. But so those, I had 2 issues in 60-something thousand miles. One of them may have been owner error with a saddlebag, I'll never know. But then I had the starter issue, but at least I had 60-something thousand miles. I'm at 10,000 miles, and again, this is the 4th time it's been in the shop. Now, the first 3 were all related to the infotainment system. And that did make me a little nervous, the fact that it's got this big, beautiful screen. I like the infotainment system, but what happens when you have issues with it? I mean, so I'm wondering, I did not get the extended service plan. My understanding with most manufacturers, you can still purchase the extended service plan after you purchase the bike, as long as you do it before the factory warranty is expired. And so the Harley has a 2-year unlimited mileage factory warranty, and I'm just at 10 months, so I have 14 more months of factory warranty left. I may shop around. They tell me there's some markup in those extended service warranties, or they're not really warranties, it's an extended service plan. The price can vary from dealership to dealership, even though they're selling the official recognized Harley extended service plan. But I may do that, but sometimes I lose confidence in a vehicle. Fortunately, I was less than 20 miles from the house with this last incident, and I was able to get it home. Of course, I was riding with the Harley Owners Group. One of my buddies followed me home. If it had died on me on the side of the road, I could have got to the house, got my trailer, and got it off the road. But still, I love to ride hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles in a day. I'll ride 400 miles, eat lunch, and ride back home in the same day. Or I'll ride multiple states away. So it's affecting my confidence a little bit, but I got a great buy, I got a great deal, and I bought the bike, and I have to give it to Harley Davidson. I've been riding Harley Davidsons since 2003, and especially if they were under warranty or even not under warranty. I've had great customer service when it comes to service departments. Most Harley dealerships have great skilled technicians. Sometimes you can just describe what it's doing, and they know what's going on. They know what the problem is. So I'm expecting more good customer service. I actually have 2 different Harley dealerships that are close to my house that I have used for service. One is Raging Bull, where I purchased my motorcycle, and the other one is Down Home Harley Davidson, both very close to my house. There's also one in Danville, Virginia, that's very close. I haven't used their service department yet, but if you had any issues with your bike, especially the first year, the first 10,000 miles. Now, I know some people, it takes them 10 years to put 10,000 miles on a motorcycle because they ride it, maybe on a Saturday once a month, but I ride every day. So, I missed a little a little unsettled. I'm not ready to give up on the bike yet, but I've been known to do that. You know, bikes start giving me trouble. Sometimes I say, I think I'm going to trade it. But right now I'm planning on keeping it. I really do like the bike. When I get it back from the shop, I'll go ahead and do the full 10,000 mile owner review. And I'll tell you what I like about the bike and what I don't like about the bike, because I think that's true with any motorcycle. And I think the longer the review, the more miles you ride it, the more you know about the strengths and weaknesses. But again, especially under warranty, that first couple of years of ownership, have you had any issues with your motorcycle? Not just Harley. I have a lot of subscribers on my channel that ride Indian motorcycles because I rode Indians and did a lot of Indian content, still do Indian content for that matter. So, you know, Hondas, Kawasaki's, whatever you may ride. Now I have to say, I've owned, I'm trying to remember, I think 5 Hondas in my life. Not once did a Honda ever go in the shop for me. Not a single time did I ever have to put one in the shop for repair. I remember one time one of my Hondas started running kind of funky, and I was riding with the group. My buddy said, follow me, and we stopped at an auto parts store. He came out with a fuel filter. He said, I bet that's what's wrong. He changed out my fuel filter. It was running like brand new again. So I've had really good luck with Hondas. My 2 preferred brands are Harley Davidson and Indian. Could I be tempted to go back and buy a Honda? I might could, just because of the dependability and the comfort and features and power and all the things that go along with a Honda as well. Of course, some of my friends might disown me if I went back to a Honda. Not really. I mean, they would rib me pretty good if I ever did that. But again, have you had any issues with your bike? I expect it, you know, maybe 5, 10 years down the road, or, you know, 50,000 miles, 100,000 miles. But again, I'm a little frustrated. 4 times in the shop in 10 months and 10,000 miles. So I'm a little unsettled by that. But as I often say, ride as much, if you like to ride as much as you can. Because one day we're all going to be too old to ride. One day we're going to age out. And I hope to ride another 20 years, but you know, you never know. And I know you young folks that subscribe to my channel, you may have 50 more years of riding. I know I've been riding motorcycles for over 50 years. That's hard to imagine, but I love to ride, and I'm frustrated that my bike is in the shop. Of course, it's rained today. I couldn't ride today if I wanted to, but again, share in the comments what kind of issues you may or may not have had, what kind of luck you've had with warranty work, whether it's Honda, Harley, Indian, whoever it may be. And again, if you like to ride as much as you can.